Hi, it's Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. I thought I would do a short clip to address a topic that comes up once in a while, partly because of the information on my site regarding training and certification and how the hypnosis industry is set up behind the scenes, sort of, in terms of how a lot of those courses and certifications are often not what people expect them to represent. But anyway, because of that information I have out there, on occasion I get comments from people, usually very supportive, a lot of times along the lines of, thank you for putting that information out there. It confirms what I've been thinking in terms of this course I'm taking or this experience I had with the certification course or that sort of thing. So that's nice. But my concern is that I think that in some of those messages, people have a high degree of emotion in terms of things like, well, thanks for confirming the fact that this course I took or this organization is nothing but scheming, greedy bunch of money-grubbing people. Now, it's always possible that, could be the case that that's the case, but as I mentioned on some of those pages, for the most part, I think it's better to assume that people have good intentions, that maybe they're just kind of deluded about themselves, about what some of these certifications and what these things can do for an aspiring hypnotist. So there's no need to, by default, assume that people are greedy, money-grubbing, out to rip you off. That's kind of, I don't know why you need to do that. I mean, like I said, there's always a possibility. But I also want to, point out that, I don't believe in the law of attraction thing. I'm not a big fan of that concept, and I have another video about that to explain that why. But in a sense, I think the law of attraction is accurate, that if people use language like other people are money grubbers, I knew it, they're greedy, why are people so greedy and trying to rip me off all the time? Well, I believe in the law of attraction in the sense that it's almost like the law of repulsion, because if a person uses that type of language, it means in their head that they have all sorts of weird feelings or emotions about money, like money grubbing, greed, all that kind of thing. And so when I hear that kind of message, it kind of concerns me, because my guess would be that the people who are communicating those things, that they are probably the type of people who have a history of getting ripped off and a history of not doing so well in that regard. And I don't necessarily think that's because that's the cause of their mentality, their attitude. I actually really think from observation that that mentality is actually causing the lack and the difficulty, and it actually attracts people who want to rip them off, makes them more vulnerable, because the thing is, successful people don't want to deal with that kind of thing. Like, if you're successful, why would you want to team up or partner up or work with someone who has that mentality about money being awful, about it being grubby and dirty and evil and that sort of thing? You just won't want to involve yourself with that. So it's no surprise in that case that people like that, who have that mentality, are kind of left behind in some way, and as a result, the vacuum gets filled up with the occasional people who really are out to charlatans or fraudsters and that kind of thing. So, but I just want to point that out, because I don't want the wrong message to be picked up from the information I have on my site. It's really meant to help you do your research, and doing your research is like part of being responsible for yourself. So that's another thing that I want to address in terms of some of these messages about, I knew it, this course ripped me off, that kind of thing. It's all like victim mentality, which is another kind of repellent thing. That type of mentality just repels success, and is really something to watch out for, I think. So, yeah, people need to take responsibility for themselves, and the information, again, to help you do your research here, just meant to provide factual background about the nature of things, what to look out for, And the thing is, like, even if you find yourself having taken one of these courses or things like that, and your expectations weren't met by, as long as you weren't promised specific things, that's like a different thing. But if you had your own expectations that you built up yourself about being a successful hypnotist or learning magical hypnosis tricks or that kind of thing, so taking a course, it might be useful to take responsibility for having done that to yourself, essentially, not having done research and thought about things like that. Well, I just want to throw that out there, just because that way people don't need to waste a lot of energy, like blaming some organization for their failures in terms of success or otherwise. Anyway, once again, it's Steve, the Grumpy Hypnotist, and I hope this clarifies the purpose of this information that I have out here. Okay, thanks. Bye.